You're listening to the Belly Dance Geek Clubhouse at bellydancegeek.com. So welcome, everybody. I'm Nadira Jamal, also known as the Belly Dance Geek, and this is the 50th episode of the Belly Dance Geek Clubhouse. Woohoo! So for our 50th episode, we wanted to do something special. So we are doing this video episode. So for some of you, this is the first time you're seeing my face after several years of hearing my voice. So hi. The Clubhouse is a place where dancers can get together and geek out on all of those things that are hard to get on DVDs and in class. If you want help with the what, so things like moves, combos, choreographies, it's really easy to find resources. But if you're looking for help with the why and the how, so things like musicality, business, ethics, culture, that can be harder to find. So every month I interview a different guest expert on a different geeky topic, and we always have time for question and answer so you can geek out with us too. So if you think that chocolate and peanut butter, go to get... Of course this would happen on the first live one. If you think that knowledge and creativity go together like chocolate and peanut butter, you are in the right place. So my guests today are Princess Farhana and DeVilla, the dynamic duo of makeup. So Princess Farhana performs and teaches worldwide. She's the author of the acclaimed Belly Dance Handbook and has been featured on 22 instructional and performance DVDs, including Bombshell, dramatic makeup for the stage, photos, and glamorous occasions, which is co-produced and co-starring DeVilla. You can check her out at princessfarhana.com. She's also on Instagram at Princess of Hollywood, Twitter at Princess Farhana, and Facebook, princess.farhana. We've also got DeVilla, a nationally known performer who's trained extensively with world-renowned teachers in the US and in Egypt. She performs as a soloist and also with her troupe Isis Siren Sekhmet, for whom she functions as the artistic director. Equally at home on stage and behind the scenes, DeVilla packs a double punch by seamlessly integrating her two full-time careers, professional makeup artist and professional dancer. You can check her out at devillarocks.com. So welcome, ladies.
Hi.
All right. So both of these ladies are previous guests, and I'm really psyched to have them here together because, as we heard in their bios, they are the co-producers of the DVD Bombshell. And if I remember correctly, the tagline for that one is, if you're looking for the natural look, you're in the wrong place.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's how I knew this was the right set of people for this call. So today we're going to talk about stage makeup. But before we get too far into that, I always like to talk to my guests about their origin stories. So Princess, why don't we start with you? How did you get started in belly dance?
I got started in belly dance in 1989. I was dancing at a club, like a regular rock and roll club, and I went to the ladies' room to put on more makeup. And this girl came up to me and asked if I was a belly dancer. And I said, no, why? And she said, because of the way you move. And I said, oh. And I thought that was really cool because I'd always been kind of obsessed. And then it hit me. So I said, why? Are you a belly dancer? And she said, yes. And I was like, I want to see you. I want to see you. So I got to see her. Then I wrangled her into giving me lessons. Then I met a lot of different teachers. And then... like, this is all within like a 3 or 4 month period. Then somebody gave me a ticket to Greece, which I promptly switched to Cairo, quit my job, and just left. That's how it started for me. So as soon as I came back and had a cheap, crappy costume, people started offering me jobs, and then I was on the work-study program for a while. I started teaching after about 4 years, and then, you know, here we are, like 27 years later. And I was always a makeup addict my entire life because if you see my eyes here in this picture, I took this right when we woke up because I wanted to spare you guys the horror of seeing it on screen talking. This is the alien that lives under my makeup. But I have very hooded eyes, and I used to get teased about them all the time in school until I started using Mary Quant makeup pencils. And then I discovered mascara and all the stuff. I went down a rabbit hole of makeup, and suddenly everyone was telling me I had such pretty big bedroom eyes. And I was like, it's an illusion. But that was when I was about 13. So anyway, there's kind of parts of my story. Let's go over to DeVilla now.
Yeah, let's.
I'm here. Sorry.
She's there with her dogs.
We got the dog interference.
I rang the doorbell, of course. The house is silent all day until you guys get on.
All right, so tell us about how you got your start.
I had danced pretty much all my life and through college. And when I finished college, I was far too old to start a dance career, or so I thought. And so I moved to Hollywood and I began my career as a professional makeup artist. I work in television and film. Sorry, the bio was a little old. I've taught for 2 of the major makeup schools here in Hollywood, Joe Blasco Makeup Center and the Makeup Designery. And this last season, I was on American Horror Story, and I work on 2 major shows on Nickelodeon. I've kind of been all over the place these past couple of years. So I've worked on some really fun makeup projects, I have to say. But I'm very lucky because after I started working as a makeup artist here in Hollywood, I was looking for a flamenco class, and a friend said, well, I know where a belly dance teacher is, so maybe we should go do that. So I did, and I fell in love with it, and a rabbit hole, and it just never stopped. I'm now teaching ongoing classes at Dance Garden. I teach nationally, which I'm very excited about. I love doing workshops. And I love this. I love this crazy life. It's a little difficult sometimes with the hours. Television and film can be between 12, 16 to 19 hours a day often. And sometimes I have to get up and teach after having had 2 or 3 hours of sleep. So makeup certainly helps me with that because I manage not to look like a dead corpse walking in the studio. Put my makeup on before class, always. Because I never want my students to see me looking run down, tired, beaten up, even though I might be. And sometimes that means I work those hours, 4 or 5 days a week, and then I go have to perform, on a Friday night or a Saturday night. And it gets a little crazy, but it's all worth it. It's so worth it.
Nice. All right. So why don't we take this back to both of you? And, let's start from the basics. Why does stage makeup matter? Why do belly dancers need it?
We need stage makeup because our emotions and our expressions can connect the audience to the music as much as our dance movements can. If you when you see someone that's dancing and they're only doing it by counts and it feels like it's soulless sometimes, if you see a performer that's wearing a gorgeous, blinged out, beautiful costume of any genre, and then they don't have enough makeup on, it looks like Casper the Friendly Ghost is dancing in that costume. You can't tell, you can't feel any kind of connection with them because you can't see their eyes or their eyebrows, you can't see their smile. I used to have arguments about this all the time with people that I was in dance troupes in, like in the 90s, people that sort of like the natural look off stage. And I agree with that. That was just a difference in tastes. I never liked, the natural look, but, some of these girls were raving beauty California girls, but they'd be like, oh, well, you're just rock and roll. You just like to wear more makeup. And this was way before the time of smartphones or even the internet, but we got some hard copy photos back and me and her were standing right together. And I was like, here, look at these pictures. And she'd been like, telling me I was crazy the whole time because I used too much makeup. And she looked at the pictures for a minute and then she just went, teach me. You need it like to make you look younger, to make you look evil, to make you look happy, to make you look like a mermaid. Whatever you want to do, you can do it with makeup. It's like painting, literally doing an art painting on your face, It's not just spackle, although the older we get, the more we need that too.
It is like painting. That's exactly what it is.
Yeah, you're creating lines and shadows that may or may not be there. Like you can make your eyes bigger. You can make your mouth bigger or smaller. You can make cheekbones out of a beautiful, round baby face. You can make someone look, you can make anyone look like anything if you know how to do makeup. It's just as important, if not more, than costuming. And it's also, totally, if you're a baby dancer, it's a hell of a lot cheaper.
Yeah. So important.
Did you want to add anything to that?
Oh yeah, when I first started dancing, I remember seeing those women that Plez was just talking about, and thinking, why would they spend all that money on that amazing costume and clearly study and spend money on all those classes? their hair or put makeup on or paint their nails. Like it blew my mind when I first kind of started. And I didn't at first see how my expertise as a makeup artist would be helpful to belly dancers. I don't know why I didn't make that connection. I thought that it might be there. And then Princess Farhana was like, we got to make a video. And that's how kind of, I think I had already been taking some, doing some makeup workshops.
Yeah, I think both of us had been doing like makeup. I had done makeup workshops around the country and here, and you were doing them here. So we were doing it for at least 2 or 3 years before
we started the video.
Probably longer before we did the video. And then we just decided we needed to do it.
Yeah. Yeah, but you really did help me see how that, you know, it was something that was necessary and very needed. So
yeah, and it was no problem getting models for that. That's all I gotta say. That was a really fun thing. Anyway, on that DVD, I'm not saying this like an infomercial, but we show 8 different looks. And we also, we did a lot of tag team work on the bombshell video, which is, I'm like a street style, and she's like an education style, because I just do stuff like the quick and dirty showgirl way, but it's because I literally grew up in a theater. You know, my mom taught theater, and I watched all of her students and all the dancers and actors putting on makeup ever since I was really tiny. DeVilla studied it, but then we did one girl's face on the bombshell DVD, and we each did one side, and it looked exactly the same.
And we had totally different technique. It was hilarious. We're
completely, yeah, it was fun.
Well, one thing I want to do is tell a little story of my own. You mentioned that, you know, one of the most important things is communicating your expression. And I had a classmate who was very, very, very blonde. Very blonde. And she did an experiment. She was the house dancer at a restaurant. She's the only person who danced there 3 nights a week for a couple of years. And she experimented with different amounts of eyebrow darkening. And she discovered she got more tips the darker she made her eyebrows. And it was just because that's what was letting people see that she was a real person with expressions and feelings.
Totally. The eyebrows are so important. Look.
Yeah. Let me, you know what I say about eyebrows? Eyebrows, if your eyes are the window to the soul, your eyebrow is the window frame. And if your window isn't framed properly, you don't get to see the soul. So eyebrows are really super important. That's just kind of how I look at them. And it's amazing how many people either just neglect them or forget them or don't care about them. I mean, I have a specific eyebrow shape. I like very thin eyebrows. That's my personal style. For any of you watching out there, yes, it is a personal style, but it's there, and it helps add to that expression of my eye. It's super important. That's a really great study that she did.
I think that's a really interesting. I have my eyebrows are really, really thin too. I mean, that wasn't how I was born, but I do that so I can draw them on in any way. It's terrifying on an airplane in a fluorescent lit bathroom on a transatlantic flight, but but it's really good on stage because I can draw them on like Tim Curry in the Rocky Horror Show. I can draw them on like Greta Garbo. I can draw them on like those crazy, awesome drag queen brows with like the big peaks that are going on now, you know, just however you want. So I like it like that. I've also probably killed all the hair follicles on them from like, 30 plus years of plucking, but that's another story.
Nice. All right. Yeah. So, if we start thinking, about this in a kind of a how-to sense, what do people need? What kind of tools and supplies should people be collecting for a basic stage face?
All of that. Yeah.
Nice.
Okay.
You want to see some of it?
Don't skimp on brushes.
Right. Get the best brushes that you can. And you can also find brushes, if you can't afford some of the makeup brushes, because a lot of them are very, very expensive. Take pictures of brushes you like, like just grab a picture from the internet or something and go to the art store, because they're probably going to be a lot cheaper there, because they don't have
Sometimes you can even find a great one
on them.
DeVilla, I didn't quite hear what you said. Did you say that again?
Yeah, sometimes you can even find great ones at the dollar store. Like I happened to be at the dollar store shopping and I found all these really great makeup brushes for $1, and they're really soft. They have really high quality bristles. The ferrule's really nice. They're not coming out. I'm washing them. I use them as cheek color brushes, powder brushes, but even art brushes like this little guy right here. Hang on, I'm gonna see if I can hold him up. This is just an art supply brush like Plez was just talking about. And it's great for like getting right into the corner of my eye with glitter glue, any of that. I can get right in there with that. And these were not expensive either. So you don't have to spend a fortune, but you do need to do some research and get them because your tools will help you completely. If you're trying to apply eyeshadow with those little wands that come with it, forget it. You're never going to get this look.
Throw those away.
And would you tell us about some of the specific brushes that you use and maybe hold up your hand behind them to help it focus?
Sure.
Okay, this is a good set that was really not expensive. I think this was $40. I'm just going to show you some of them. Like there's cheek brushes here. I'm showing you these because I also have a used version almost just like this, but they look dirty and manky because they've got color on them. So there's all different colors of and types of brushes that you can use for blush. This one's like a little wedge brush. This one, so I usually use this size. I can't tell if you guys are seeing it. There, can you see it? This is a wedge brush. I use that for putting on highlighter around the side of the eye and the top of the cheekbone. This is the actual blush brush. And then right here is a bigger, fatter version that I use for blending. This is also a little very flat brush. It's hard to tell because I can only see myself in a tiny window, so I'm not trying to wave the brushes around. But then there's also all sorts of smaller brushes. Like we use spoolies like this. It's like a mascara brush, you know, to like shape eyebrows. There's like smaller wedge brushes for the eye, you know, for the actual brows themselves. There's about, I think there's about 40 brushes in this set. But I also have just random stray brushes from the art store. People have given me lots of like really nice makeup brushes because either they work, you know, at a department store or someone gifted it to them and they're not a dancer and they don't use makeup. Those things are really important. But also, while we're talking about this kind of thing, I'm just going to show you guys right now really quickly what I bring to gigs. Because you don't need to bring, I mean, this is what I bring, like not just to a gig, but to like a workshop weekend. I always see dancers with like giant, huge boxes that look almost as big as DeVilla's Pro Kit, and you don't need to bring that much. I bring a train case, and I like this one because it's got 3 levels. It's got a level up here that has a case for brushes, and it's got 2 different levels here, so I can keep different things in them. I can keep all my makeup remover in the bottom with like Q-tips and other stuff like that, ponytail holders, whatever. And then this is a thing, this is a little Beauty Butler tray. There's a company called Beauty Butler, and they make these little Velcro trays. So you can keep all your cosmetics completely organized. You just stick them on with Velcro, and then you can just use them like on the tray, or you can take them off, but it keeps your makeup from getting jumbled up and sloppy. So it's even got like small little Velcros for like tiny glitters, travel size glitters or pencils. And they come in packs of 3, and they're really inexpensive, and you can wash them, and they're just amazing. And then I bring a very smaller brush kit that's just about the same size, and they just coincidentally match. That wasn't my plan, but now it looks like I'm all organized and stuff. Anyway, so that's what I bring if I'm going away for like 2 weeks or like a 5-day workshop weekend. To a regular gig, I bring an even smaller thing because you don't, you know, once you have your face on, if you've done it right, you don't need to have that much. You just need the basics for touch up, like your same lipstick that you used, and you know, some black powder. And what about you, Devil?
I have well, of course I have my major kit. So You don't want to see all these. This is my professional brush kit. It's kind of ridiculous. But for my gig bag, I have even smaller, like you were saying, if it's just one night, my makeup's done. I don't have to do much touch up. I have a really small, compact bag about this big that I shove in my gig bag. And then when I'm traveling, I have a train case kind of like that one that I shove the other gig bag, the small gig bag in. And then I can put hair stuff in there too. But that's a really great bag. The Velcro, that you can Velcro the makeup to, the Beauty Butlers, those are great. I have those in my professional kit too. They're wonderful because they help keep everything organized.
Yeah, you don't have to be, this is like the motion I make most in life anyway, like looking for a costume piece or or a ballet slipper, so I don't want to do that with my makeup.
What do we call that bag?
Not that bag, the other bag. Oh, that's right, Howard Carter. tell them about the Howard Carter experience.
Where is it?
Okay, you guys know Howard Carter was the man that discovered King Tut's tomb. And one time when DeVilla and I were in Egypt, because we've traveled all over the place together a lot, I had this bag. I had to buy it at the last minute because, I don't know, my regular purse broke, but it was really tall. And I had everything in it. I mean, it wasn't only a makeup bag, it was my purse. But anytime I reached in, I'd be like, I'd have to put my whole head in it. It wasn't like a normal purse. And there'd be like sand and rocks coming out of it and stuff. Yeah. And so I started calling my purse the Howard Carter experience. Because I just knew at one point when I was looking for lipstick, I was going to pull out like a full-size sarcophagus.
No. So, yeah, that bag. So what I wanted to tell you is I've started carrying around a little tiny flashlight. It's about 2 inches long, just on my bags now. So I never have to deal with the Howard Carter. Because you're always backstage in the dark somewhere looking for stuff. You're like, where the hell? I've got flash. Where's the stick?
Okay, yeah, well, I'm gonna make like a Mata Hari headdress with a flashlight on my head now.
You need that. No, I need that to wear it at the beach.
Okay, maybe we're going a little bit off topic.
Maybe just a little bit. So, let's say we've got a newbie dancer or somebody who's trying to put together a good kit for the first time. What are the must-haves?
Red lipstick, a few different colors of eyeshadow. You want to get neutrals like browns, grays, a nice black, a flat white, a pearly white. I know what you just reached over, Devil. Did you just reach over and get that cat eyes palette?
I got the cat eyes palette right here.
We did it at the same time.
So it's really, really beautiful.
Who makes that?
It's by Too Faced, and it's really cheap.
Yeah. Yeah. It's really good.
And you can use those shadows wet or dry. As long as the shadow's got like some metallic sheen to it, if it's pearly, you can use it wet and dry. Also, I did, are you showing the cat eyes palette?
What's that?
Were you just showing
the
okay.
Yeah, the dark shadows work as eyeliner. Actually, it's what I'm using as eyeliner right now. I'm using that black mixed with that purple from this kit with water, and it works really nicely as eyeliner. Hang on, where am I? Oh, there it is. Yay.
Yes.
And for newbies, when you say with water, you mean on the brush, yes?
Yes, on the brush.
Not like pouring water.
No, you get like a little bowl or the cap of a water bottle, and you stick your brush in it, and then you just sort of pinch it off so it's not dripping, and then you can use it as eyeliner. And then let me also just tell you, I did a comparison shopping thing here just for fun. So I got, of nice neutral palettes. I got a Kat Von D. I'm not even sure how much these cost, $40 or $50, maybe more. And it's got almost the same colors as the next middle one, which is the Cat Eyes palette. Which is, I'm not sure how much that is. I'm thinking like 19 or 18 to 30 or less, depending on where you get it. And then a $4.99 to $6.99 Wet n Wild with very similar colors. And I have to say, I'm a huge fan of Wet n Wild. since it first started coming out in the 80s. And it's also amazing to, if you're traveling a lot, to keep on in your road kit, because if it, you know, if it crumples up or if it gets banged around or something, you can always get another one at Walmart, and you're not going to cry because you lost your amazingly beautiful, expensive palette. And also those can be used wet or dry too.
I do want to add something.
Yeah.
The only thing you have to be cautious about purchasing really, really inexpensive eyeshadow kits. Like I'll see girls show up in my my workshops with these big kits. They're like, you know, it's bigger than this one. This is a matte kit.
Those are not pigment. The cheap shadows aren't pigmented, right?
Wait. Yeah, that's exactly it. So they get the ones that have all the bubble eyeshadow colors, you know, and they think they've got all these great colors, but the problem is they have so little pigment within the eyeshadow that you put it on and then you put another color on and it just turns into a flat mud color. It doesn't do anything. You can't shape an eye with it. So be sure if you're buying an inexpensive product that it's a heavily pigmented one, like you're suggesting the Wet n Wild. NYX is really good.
Very heavily pigmented. The greens and blues aren't as much as the neutrals, but they're good for the price. You can't beat it.
Right. It's just, there's some that I know girls will go downtown LA, and they have all those cheapy kits and they get them and then they realize they've spent money on something that isn't really going to work. So just, you know, do a little research. NYX, like I said, is really good too. And I found out they're not animal testing, which has kind of become important to a lot of people. So if that's important to you, the line NYX that you see at the drugstore, I think you've got something. Yeah, they are. That's a really good line.
Mm-hmm. And another thing that you should have as a beginning dancer is, even if you don't wear foundation in real life, even if you're like a young, fresh-faced 20-year-old, you probably will still have to wear it on stage. If we were there, we'd force you to, but we're not there. So it's always good before putting on foundation to put on a primer, because it helps even out everything, your pores, your skin tone. There's plenty of expensive ones, but e.l.f. makes one. Again, good brushes and stuff, but they make a primer for like $4 to $6, depending where you buy it. It's really silky. It's really great, and it makes your it just makes the foundation.
Miracle Blur.
What is that?
Miracle Blur.
Oh, I love Miracle Blur. Yes,
we love Miracle Blur.
The first time I had Miracle Blur, I said I want to get enough of this so I can be mummified in it.
And this illuminating Lumi.
Mummies, but
DeVilla, would you say the name of that one more time? Illuminating what?
It's Magic Lumi, and it's by L'Oreal. So is the Miracle Blur. They're both by L'Oreal. And so if you prime your face with this, it kind of helps smooth out any large pores or crinkles. And then what I like to do is sometimes I'll put a little bit of the Lumi underneath my foundation just so it gives my face a little bit of luminescence. Like that's what's on there now under the foundation is this illuminating Lumi, which is really pretty wonderful. It's kind of a pearlized color, and I keep it right here on my cheeks. So it kind of brings a little life into that area. And for foundation, okay, it's Dior and it's gorgeous. And has really great coverage, but for the money, ladies and gentlemen, this is L'Oreal True Match. I noticed that I use two different colors because I like to set up a highlight situation going on, and then and a shadow on the outside of my face. So I start that push-pull of contouring on my face with my foundation. But these you can get at the drugstore for about 10 bucks a piece. And they're wonderful. I really like it. So, and I've been using that for stage for a long time, and it holds up really, really well. So there's a couple of financial options for you there.
Yeah.
Which one do you like?
When I started going on the road all the time, a lot, I was trying to cut down on any kind of liquids and stuff because I didn't like checking any of my stage kit. You know, I had to keep it with me in the carry-on. So I started discovering Maybelline Matte Mousse because it was actually like a little mousse. It was very solid and it was kind of airy and dry. I also use two colors of it, because I tan very easily, even if I don't want to. Or to do what DeVilla said, like I'll use the lighter shade on one part and the darker shade on another part, so I blend it. So Maybelline Matte Mousse, they're like about $6 to $8.99. I get 2 colors, but then I mix it like also how she said with her Lumi. I use MAC's Strobe Cream, and it's the same concept. It's a beautiful pearlescent thing, and I mix it into the foundation. And then I use a beauty blender brush, and I have a black one because I'm goth, but also I picked this one because you can see that I just put my makeup on with it. You can also tell when it's time to wash it, because if it's black, it's not going to seep in there. You're just going to see the makeup. So I love these because the little point on the end allows you to get right into the corners, and the corners like around the nose and the nose ring and all of that stuff. And you put it on like you just sort of stipple it on or spackle it on. You're not like rubbing stuff in. You're just doing that, and it gives you a much better finish. So
I have a new favorite tool.
What is it?
So this is a brush I just got in my swag bag at the Makeup Awards, and it came with a product. It's from It Cosmetics. Hang on, let me find it. So it's from It Cosmetics, and it's double-sided, a little brush and a big brush. And I started putting my foundation on with it, and I just use little swirls, and it's so pretty. It looks airbrushed. And you want to try something fun. This It Cosmetics brush is a really fun tool. Like these Forever Puffs. I don't know if you've seen these Forever Puffs. You probably have. This one's cow print, but it's like a powder puff, but it doesn't fall apart, and it lasts a lot longer, and you can wash it. So rather than get those cheapy powder puffs, these are really great too. And then you can just wash it and reuse it. Like I've had the last one I had for like 2 years. I mean, a long time. I just wash it, and it's nice because it powdered right around tiny little spaces and big broad spaces.
So let's go back on topic though. The other thing you need for a baby dancer, I mean, you can use any of those things that we were telling you. You can if you're just starting, you can definitely get away without primer or without like a washable powder puff or a beauty blender, although I think most people like those now. But so you need neutral eyeshadow colors. You need some kind of a blue-red lipstick or a nice bright coral that's not too orangey, because you really need to have your mouth defined. I like to use blue reds because they make your teeth look whiter. The other thing that you really need is false eyelashes. Or if you have a lot of eyelashes, you can use mascara, but I would still turn my nose up at you. I would be very nice about it, but I'd be, oh, she'll learn. There's these kind of lashes. These are not stage lashes to me, okay? These are like the lashes that you might wear to a prom when you're trying to look natural. This is your first pair of stage lashes, okay? You know why? It's the same reason as the eyebrows. They're thick, they're dark. These ones aren't that long. You can't tell the perspective here, but I'm just gonna show you. These ones aren't the drag queen. See the difference? I wear the top ones, and the bottom ones are like starter lashes. What's your opinion on lashes, DeVilla? I know it's exactly the same. Like we don't even
it's pretty much like your thick caterpillar lashes look like they are overbearing on my eyes. But I'm trying to see if I have.
Yes. But you could wear those starter lashes that I showed. Anyone can wear the thick, short, dark ones.
I'm trying to see. I have some here that this is like one of my preferred eyelash shapes right here. And it's not quite as thick, and it's not quite as long. I'm trying to see if we can.
Because
hold your hand behind it like this.
Yeah, how's that? So
She's got a lot of real estate on her eyes. I lost my, oh, there I am.
Yeah, it just depends on your eye shape. You have to kind of almost play around with them and see which ones work. I'm
putting on my glasses now.
I've tried wearing the ones you wear, and I'm like, I'm like, darn. No.
So let's talk about eye shape for 1 second, though. The reason that I can wear those big, giant drag queen eyes, which you can't really tell here or here because I have semi-stage makeup on. I'm going to just hold this scary picture of me with no makeup here one more time. I have hooded eyes, which means it's not just heavy lidded. Like my eyelids recess into my face, which is something that a lot of Asian people have and a lot of Native American people have, which I have a lot of Native American in me.
Yeah.
These are my eyes with no makeup on. Check it out. Do you see? And that's not because I'm old, because it looked like that when I was a damn 2-year-old also. Just without the crow's feet. Okay? So there's no way I could go on stage with mascara, because even if I put mascara on it, you can't see the lashes. So for anyone that's listening that's got hooded lashes, you know, as they were born or as they age a little bit, you can wear longer eyelashes, because, you know, only just so much of it peeks out. And on stage, you want it to look like this. You just want it to be like a nice big filter. Like, I don't know if you can see what these look like. Can you guys see my face? I can't tell what I'm doing because my eyes are closed.
They look great.
Okay, so Ardell lashes, but they if you have hoodies like me, and you can find them online, like on Amazon, all over the place, or, you know, there's several different brands. They used to make lashes that got bigger out towards the end, but if you've got hooded eyes or small eyes, if the lashes are longer in the center, it's going to really open your eyes up without making you look like surprised and crazy. It's just a better frame for our kind of hoodie eyes. Girls in the hood, yo.
All right. So in terms of the starter kit, what else do folks need? Any particular brush type?
Can you hear us?
Yep.
I said scissors and tape are good.
Yes.
It sounds crazy, but it's for trimming eyelashes, and tape for getting off migrating glitter, or if you're not used to doing makeup, you can put a little piece of tape at the end of your eye and draw on it with eyeliner, and it just looks miraculous, like you know what you're doing. What else do you think, DeVilla?
What's that? You can also take that. Yeah, you can also take that tape and wrap it around your finger if you have misplaced glitter. The trough of your eye right here, it makes you look like you have a heavy like circle around your eye. So you can also take that tape and just kind of dab, 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 and so you don't have that heavy glitter trough that's falling down onto your eye.
Yeah, that's what I was like, migrating glitter anywhere. Yeah. I think also for a new person's kit, while you need a good kind of eyelash glue, and my favorite one now is Revlon Precision Lash, and it's non-latex, and it's got a brush like an eyeliner brush. Can you see how small it is? The brush, it's like a little pointy brush. The crappy brush that sometimes, glue that comes with lashes, I throw that stuff away the same way we both throw away like those little sponge applicators. A lot of that glue is really irritating, and a lot of it's stale, and you don't want anything like that near your eyes. With Precision Lash, one of the biggest mistakes that like newbies make is like they can't get their eyelashes on because they either position it wrong or they don't wait for the glue to dry enough. So this one, you just like paint it on your lash, and pretty much basically you can just pop it on. It's like so simple for a beginner. It's a game changer. Also for your glitter, what?
That eyelash glue people are really loving, and plus, I do love both of these products, the Duo adhesive.
I like Duo too. I love it. Yeah.
But a lot of people do have a sensitivity to latex. So the new glues that are coming out with non-latex are great. And especially with that little brush. I love them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I have a sensitivity to latex. And at one point, I thought I was never going to be able to wear false eyelashes again. And I thought my life was over.
Mm-hmm. I've had a lot of people.
I don't want to live. No. Another thing I really want to talk about for newbie, for your first makeup kit, is please don't put craft glitter on your face. And also please realize that like a sexually transmitted disease announcement, There's no such thing as safe glitter, but cosmetic glitter is safer. You know, so I know that you're going to want to be using glitter. Do not use craft glitter. If it gets into your eye, it could really mess you up. Any kind of glitter in your eye could mess you up, but cosmetic glitter is not metal to begin with, and some craft glitter is. And cosmetic glitter is also die cut to be round or oval, and a lot of cosmetic, a lot of craft glitter is either octagonal or square. And I know this because I sent glitter samples to a friend of mine who is a biology major at Berkeley, and I said, can you look at these under a microscope? And she didn't know what she was looking at, but she just sent me back the slides, and that's how we could tell. You know, I numbered the samples. That's something you don't want. Also, you need good makeup remover wipes.
Yes. Yeah, Neutrogena makes a good one. I love the Neutrogena ones. Yep. Those are the ones I keep. Those are the ones I keep in my kit.
Yeah, they're the best ones.
And by my sink, and they're the ones we use at work too. But back to the glitter very quickly. We just had all these slew of dancers who like basically did a hip hop dance for 4 days straight, and we had to cover them in all this glitter. And it was a beautiful Egyptian theme. It was great for me. But we did have that whole deal of glitter, and they were starting to like when they did the test makeups, someone used craft glitter around the eyes. I was like, no, you can't do that, because inevitably somebody's going to get it in their eyeball and scratch their eye. So that's a really important tip, Plez. Thank you. Because
well, I wound up going to the emergency room one morning, not because I used craft glitter, but because even though I'm very anal about taking off all my stage makeup, I even one time woke up at Burning Man, cough, substance abuse, with no makeup on. And I was like, oh my God, I took out my contacts and I took off my makeup. I don't remember any of that, but I know someone else didn't do it. But so one day though, I was doing a gig and I thought I had cleaned everything like I did. And I was in the shower getting ready to go to a dance festival. And I looked up and the shower hit me in the eye, and it hit 3 pieces of glitter. I know because the doctor got the 3 pieces out of my cornea. And I didn't know what I had done, you know, and I said, I thought it was from the water pressure. And the doctor was like, he just looked at me with like with a really somber face. He's like, what kind of glitter eye makeup do you use? And I was like, I didn't have any makeup on. And I was like, oh, but I did last night, you know? So, I mean, that was crazy. That was like a glitter accident, but it could have been really bad. It was in my cornea. It was like, if it would have been in the iris or so, I mean, it was in, you know what I mean? It was in the white part, but if it would have gone into the other part, it could have been really bad. Then when I went back for a recheck, the doctor, to his credit, handed me a piece of paper cut out of a newspaper, and he said, I probably shouldn't be giving this to you, but it was a story about how it's all the rage in Amsterdam for people to get rhinestones surgically slit into their eyes.
No.
But yeah, so safe glitter, and you got to be very careful about it.
All right.
I think is that it for like the beginning kit, DeVilla? Do you have any other?
You know, we didn't really talk about highlight and shading at all.
Yeah, but I mean that we could. I figured that would be its own whole section.
All right. Well, that's a good segue. So, you know, if before we get into the actual tutorial section, how does the venue that you're dancing in affect the look that you need to create?
Knowing your house is wildly important, because if you don't put on enough makeup for your venue, then your audience is not going to see your face or any of your emotion on your face. So knowing how much makeup to wear, and it's definitely more if you're going to dance for 30 people or 300. So gauge all that.
It's DeVilla, one time she wrote an article for the Chronicles, the belly dance magazine, called Know Your House. And you should definitely know that when you're on a giant large stage, those lights that feel hot to you, they're hot because the light is so bright, it's going to wash out everything more than normal. And you can put on so much makeup that you look like if you bumped into someone that looked like you on the street. This was my famous saying. It looks like the love child of a hooker and a clown. But once you see that backed up 10, 20, 30 feet, it's just, you can just barely make out the facial features. You would never want to have that much makeup on for a smaller venue unless you were really doing some costumey thing. And you also wouldn't want to have anywhere near that kind of makeup on for a photo session. Like when I put on stage makeup for a giant stage, I basically almost don't blend a thing. It almost looks cubist, you know, at least on my eyes. Like here, it's like a big like rectangle. I don't have it on now, but it's like a big rectangle of pearly white under the eyebrow, you know, and then it's like Nagel painting 80s kind of like squares almost of.
Yeah.
I mean, you blend a little bit, but you could get away on a bigger stage where there's people way away from you. Just you know, with a face that would look so strange and odd close up.
The gauge during your tech rehearsal, put your makeup on and have a friend go sit in the middle of the house. So say it's a 300-seat theater. So have them go back about the middle of the way and go to the center and have them tell you how much of your makeup they can see or how much of your face they can because if they can't see it, you're not wearing enough.
Definitely. When you're in a big theater too, you have to remember also that if you've got amazing light capabilities, your makeup has to match or look good under the lights. Like if you want to do like an all red, like say you're doing a witchy red piece or something, if you're wearing reddish toned cheeks and red lipstick, it's going to look like you have nothing on. So always make sure like that, you know, you can get someone to tell you or that you can see the effects of what the stage lighting is going to do to your makeup and your costume, you know, like and I'll just tell you right now, like if you're on a stage or a stage that has, you know, pretty good lighting capabilities, like anyone of any age with any kind of makeup will look good with the wash of pinks, ambers, whites, and bastard amber if they have it. It just makes anyone of any skin tone and any age with any kind of makeup look healthy and pretty, you know? So remember that. That's a good stage makeup basic.
DeVilla, I didn't hear what you said just now. Would you repeat that?
I call it that. It's that wash of blush lighting, that pretty peachy pink, bastard amber. That
pinks,
just kind of
it's pinks, ambers, lavender, and a little bit of whites, and also bastard amber, which is an actual name of a stage light. So you get that wash. It makes anyone of any age look pretty and healthy. And it will make your makeup show. Your lipstick color will be like true red, not like some weird brown color.
Mm-hmm.
All right, cool. Well, I'd like to move on to some of the more practical, hands-on kind of stuff. So could you walk us through the process for a basic face for kind of a typical restaurant or party gig?
Do you want to go, DeVilla, or should I?
Sure, I will. I kind of put on, I'm sorry you can't see it through my rock and roll hair. I didn't do like a good restaurant hair for you right now, but I kind of put on today a makeup that I would wear pretty much to the restaurant. I would probably bump my cheek color up and my eyes just a little bit, and I would certainly put my lashes on and some glitter on my eyelids. But I mean, this is a basic, nice restaurant look. It's not too harsh. And like I said, I would bump it up a little bit. It's really hard for me to go to that garish in the afternoon in my house, but but yeah, I would kind of bump up my highlights and my contour a bit. I'd probably contour my nose, and I would definitely put on false lashes and glitter, absolutely glitter, and body glitter as well, and body makeup for a restaurant.
Yeah, and this is probably going to be right up close with people. This is my restaurant makeup without glitter and with like no contouring. And usually I draw my lines over, but this is mine because we have very different eye shapes. So I just like it very dark and very exotic here. And if I was on a big stage, I would draw this bottom eyeliner line out, and I would also put like a line of white liner on it. Like you can see that on any of my album covers and a lot of my Facebook profile pictures, because if you put a white line, like a solid white line coming out of there, they do that in classic ballet makeup because it extends the whites of your eyes. And if you're on a really big stage, you can put a little dot of it here too, and it just makes it, actually on the cover of the Belly Dance Handbook, you can see that very well because it's a close-up of my face. And people think I have huge eyes, and I don't, and it's just because of that white line 6 or 8 feet away. It just looks like your eye is bigger and longer. So for her eyes, for DeVilla's eye, look, I'm pointing to the screen like anyone can see it. For DeVilla's eyes, you can put lighter on the lid and then put darker in the crease and lighter on the top, because she's got really beautiful big eyelids and she's got a lot of real estate above her eyes. For my eyes, or for anyone that's hoodie or Asian eyes, it's better to go darker, and it's better to go with length rather than trying to open up a narrow almond-shaped eye. And that goes whether you're dancing at an outdoor party, at a restaurant, or on stage. It's just that on stage, like the eyebrow would be thicker, the extension would be longer, and I would definitely I would overdraw my lower lip and I'd put points on my top lips. You know, I do that. I have a total, it's almost like a 1/4 of an inch overdrawn on the bottom. But on stage, it looks natural, you know? It's just the driving home when you stop at the 7-Eleven that you realize you look like you just got out of the state hospital.
DeVilla, I think you were going to show us something. Is that right?
Oh, for my eye shape, I had drawn this out for someone who took my last workshop because she got home and she couldn't remember what the placement was. So I'm going to see if I can hold this up for you because I drew it out for her. Can you see that?
I think I can see it, but I think it might also be good if you're up for it to snap a picture when we're done, and maybe we can post it in the notes.
Okay. Oh, there it is. There it is. So that's the basic, unless you have a hooded eye shape configuration, and this would just be a daytime makeup, but that's the basic configuration of how I shape and contour my eye, and I keep the lid light and light here under the eyebrow. So it's kind of that V shape there on the top. And then if I wanted to do the 2-line trick out, I could go out and paint the white inside. And then the ballet eye, sometimes I've done 2 for stage, which is really good. I just did it for my Snow White piece for Danger White, and then put my lashes down, and it looked really crazy. It's like that kind of Japanese animation style almost, but on stage it looks amazing.
Mm-hmm. And going back to that diagram, could you show us maybe how that would apply to the cat's eye palette and which color would go where?
Oh, sure, absolutely. Because those are the colors that I used, and they're kind of smudgy on paper, but that is from the cat eye palette if you want to see it.
That would be great.
Sure. Okay, so what I did with this palette, because I'm sure this is the palette I'm using for everything right now. I don't know, I'm kind of in love with it. So I used this today. So I used a combination of this one and this one. It's kind of a pinkish and a little bit of an iridescent, they call it purr, on my eyelid and right here underneath my eyebrow. And then I took and mixed this purple, which they're calling Jungle Love and Leopard.
Could you hold that a little bit higher up? I don't think I could see the entire palette.
There you go.
There it is. Thank you.
So I mixed these 2 for my shadow, and then I went in and I mixed in, I took this black wet and I used it for the eyeliner here and around all the way in. And then I kind of worked it into the shadow color. Now for work, if I were going to definitely darken the shadow up a bit, and like I said, add glitter and lashes, but this is the palette that I used. I think I even put in a little bit of that lavender color. And sometimes I'll take my cheek color on a brush after I'm finished. If I think the whole thing looks too monochromatic, just dab some pink, hot pink right in there just to give it some kick. But those are the ones I used.
Great. All right. And so then obviously there's foundation, powder, but we talked a little bit about contouring. Is that something that you typically do for a restaurant?
Can I tell you something about foundation first?
Mm-hmm. Please.
DeVilla knows this because she works on movie sets, and I learned it a long time ago from when I was getting made up on a movie set. Do your eyes first. Do all your eyes first with all the black and brown shadows and all of that. Then clean up under your eyes. Then put on the foundation. Like, why would you want to put on, you know, primer and foundation and powder, then do your eyes and then try to have to clean up any migrating pigment? Just do the eyes first and clean up to the under lash line, and then put your foundation on a clean face.
Absolutely. Makes it so much easier and so much faster. To not to backtrack, but when you're working with glitter, if you're going to put glitter on your eyes and you want to make sure, or you want to try not to get glitter in your eyes, if I put on lash and then apply the glitter, the false lash helps catches any errant glitter that might be falling.
Yes.
So that will help keep you, that's a good trick to help keep glitter out of your eyes.
All right. So, you know, you've mentioned contouring a little bit earlier. Is that something that you typically do for a restaurant gig or only for larger stage stuff?
I do it for both, but not as dark or not as big.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And you can get away with a dark restaurant.
I use it all the time.
Not doing a lot of contouring, you know, unless it's something you do every day. It's not like a must.
It's not a must, but I tend to use it pretty much every time I perform. And even when I go
Me
out.
too, but man, you are different.
Yeah.
I mean, we're not like normal dancers. We're like makeup addicts.
No, not. But there is something I want to say that's very important, because I see a lot of YouTube tutorial people kind of, they're great. You learn. I have seen some that are advocating you use colors that are what I consider bronzer colors as contour color.
Yeah, no.
Bronzer color. Okay, this is bronzer. And the reason I'm stressing this is because if I try to use this bronzer as a contour here, I have a red stripe on my face. You're going to need to invest in something, and this is just La Femme. It's not expensive, and this one has lasted me forever. In something that's like brown, something that's got a lot of brown, that's going to suck up a lot of color, a lot of grayed brown, that's going to suck up a lot of light. Excuse me. Mix it very carefully. We'll start to create that contour color that I want under my cheekbone and under my jawline and down. Something like this that's got that red color in it. It just looks like I put a red stripe on my face. So
also,
when you
don't want anything sparkly too.
Yeah, no sparkly for contour. You want to use something that's a flat matte color, because you don't want to look like you just put dirt on your face.
You don't want it to reflect light. You want it to absorb.
That's what
light.
happens.
Make it look like you've got a big cheekbone.
Yeah.
Or jawline.
Yeah. And then I wrap my into that. Yeah. Had to blend that. Sorry.
So what are the basics of contouring and highlighting? What do people need to know about how to approach it?
You're bringing out you're bringing out the architectural planes of your face. So anything that you want to come forward should have something lighter, brighter, and possibly more sparkly. Anything you want to recede, like if you want to create cheekbones under here, you're going to create a shadow. Or if you want to fix your jawline, you're going to create a shadow. If you want the tip of your nose to look nice, you're going to put just a tiny little dot there. You could, you know how when you see those red carpet shots and people have like curly, like gold or silver or white hair, it's because from far away, it's going to make their eyes look open, beautiful and open. So anything you want to draw forward, you put the lighter color on, and anything you want to look shadowed or darker or recede, is where you use the gray brown dull contour, mushroomy contour color.
Yeah. Mushroomy, that's a good
yeah
description.
And so
like
what steps should people follow to apply that?
I usually do it after I've done my eyes, done my primer, done my foundation, and given it a very, very light dust of powder. Then I'll like do the planes of my cheeks with highlighter, and I'll put a little bit under, for contour, and definitely around my jaw. And then after I've done that, I'll smile so that the apples of my cheeks get fat. and I'll take a brush and I'll sort of like work it in there and then bring it up just a little bit. But I usually just put blush right on the apples and the contour does the other stuff, because if you smile and put it on, it's going to get right in the place where it just gives you like a 10-year facelift immediately for the stage. It just makes you look so young and pretty.
Yeah.
And it's almost just like Raggedy Ann doll makeup spot of pink or red, but it works. I wouldn't go out on the street like, well, I have gone out on the street, but.
Oh yeah.
DeVilla.
For contour,
Mm-hmm.
I use this brush. Let's see if you guys can see that. It's ever. And I just take and dab it very carefully into my contour color. And I want to feel right where my cheekbone wraps under. And that's where you want to place your contour color. And then I like to draw it right underneath my chin. So you make sure you don't get any up here, because if you do, it'll look like dirt. And sometimes I shade my nose. I like the shape of my nose, so I'm not ever trying to change the shape of it necessarily. But if I do want it to look a little shorter, sometimes I'll put a little smudge right underneath the tip. And I'll just draw a line straight down just to give it a little more definition, especially because there is so much light pounding you and washing you out that you just don't look like you're there. So you have to use it for a big stage.
And I wouldn't go too wild with contour for a photo session, unless you really blend it, like you don't need it.
Yeah.
Well, that's a good segue into our next section, which is, what do you need to know about makeup if you're doing it for the camera as opposed to a live show?
The first rule is no glitter. Glitter looks beautiful in
No
motion.
glitter.
It looks gorgeous in motion, but in a photo session, it looks like you've got like some kind of bizarre tropical skin condition.
Yeah, no glitter for photo.
White spots and stuff. What I'll do is, if someone's taking a very, very big close, like a close-up, very close, I'll put glitter on for the last few shots, just because then you can see it. But when you're on stage, you're moving, and the glitter looks amazing. And when you're not on stage, it just looks grainy or gravelly on your face. Also, gloss you can use in photo sessions, and I would never use it on stage. So if you need to get your gloss on, do it for a photo session. Not for on stage. You'll spend the rest of your set just. What's your photo laws, DeVilla?
Photos change so much over the course of time. Thankfully, it's so sophisticated now that pretty much you're going to read as you are. So what you see here in a photograph, pretty much you'll get depending on the lens and how much it's hitting me. And also, if you have a really talented photographer or someone who cleans up your pictures afterwards, if you've, say, misplaced lines a little askew, that stuff can also be fixed in post, which is great. Because
a lot of people are in places where they don't have people as good as we have in Hollywood.
That's true.
We are from
very
Hollywood.
lucky.
I'm sorry, but it's true.
It's true. We are very lucky here. We have people who are really good with cleaning up pictures.
Yeah, and making them look like you plus, not like you like a weird alien that had too much, post-production stuff put on you. I think in general, if you're doing from the hip up, belly dance stuff, you want to make sure you really blend your makeup really well down for photos. I know that's hard to believe. If I'm doing like a Manahari photo or a period photo, I don't. But if I want it to look like me, then I wear way less makeup than I would wear on any stage. It's maybe not even as dark as it would be at like a dark restaurant. Do you know what I mean? I'll wear big lashes, but they're a lot wispier. And then and my eyebrows will be colored in a lot, but not as thick as I like them for on stage, unless I really want to have that drag queeny look, which I do love, but the less makeup that you can wear in photos without looking like you have no makeup on is good. But I wouldn't say don't wear no makeup, because when I say less makeup for me or DeVilla, that's still more than a lot of people's stage makeup.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
But if you're close up, you just want it to look nice and pretty and soft or sexy soft, you know? If you're doing a character, it's totally different. If you're doing a character, go ahead with like green lips and like, you know, crazy bendies and wild eyebrows. But if you're just doing like really nice dance promo shots or business cardy things or something for a flyer, just, you can't go wrong with neutral makeup, bright lips, and just everything softly blended. You know, it just looks really pretty. You just want to look like you plus.
Mm-hmm. All right. And we've already touched on this a little bit, but for larger stages, what are the musts? We mentioned contouring.
I overdraw my mouth all the time, and I really make my eyes bigger. I couldn't show you how much I overdraw my mouth if you want to see. Here's my regular lips. This is like really my lips. Now I have to put my glasses on. Tragic. And use a magnifying mirror. I'm just going to show you like one side overdrawn, okay? So you can see the difference. So someone else talk because I can't talk for a second.
I'll talk for a second if you want me to fill up space. You paint.
Mm-hmm.
It's really important too, if you're doing a character, that you research that character, research that time period, and really know how to, say, draw your lip line or draw your eyebrow shape, because those things really, really do sell a period. Like a 1920s eyebrow and a 1940s eyebrow, two totally different things. Same thing with lips, same thing with eyeshadow shapes, shape of contour on the eyes. You know, in the 20s and 30s, eyeshadow kind of tended to point down. And after that, everything started to lift upward. Lip shapes were much, much different and much more exaggerated. So, and in the 40s, with lips. So just good to know your time period and what you're trying to.
Here's everything she said. Here's half a lip drawn on. You see that?
Mm-hmm.
See the difference? Now I'll
That's
just draw the whole one on. Say something else, DeVilla.
Actually, I'm going to jump in for a sec onto what you just said.
Okay.
Last week, my husband and I were out to dinner, and the bar that was attached to the restaurant was playing Dirty Dancing. And my husband did not realize that it was set in the 60s because everybody had 80s hair and makeup.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. That used to bug
So that kind of ties into your research point.
Yeah. Yeah.
It bugged me on so many of those movies from the 80s because they didn't do a lot of research.
Yeah. Yeah, they didn't. I have some lip stuff I can talk to you about while she paints, if you want.
Go for it.
I'm just about done.
There's also, if you really want to get into different things that you can do with lips, you can highlight and shade within your lips. I know PF would tell you about this right now, but she's painting.
I'm doing it right
I'm going
now.
to take this very fabulous pencil by Jordana.
That's exactly what I was using.
It's the best lip pencil ever, and I think they discontinued the color.
They did.
Please tell me they.
Cabaret.
Ah, okay. So if you wanted to highlight and shadow within your lip, you would take on the outside. You could line and do darker in here. You could then do a lighter color in the center, and in these two little apple shapes right here, lighter. And that could start your highlight and shading within your lip. You also, like, I don't know if you can tell that I've done it today, but how I've rimmed the outside of my lip with a little bit of a lighter color. I took a flesh tone pencil. I'll show it to you. It's actually called High Beam by Benefit, and I love mine so much that it's almost worn out. It's that color. You can see that I used it around my lip because it's got some red on it there. But I do two things with this pencil. If I don't have lipstick on it, I can highlight right under my brow bone, and I get a really beautiful highlight right under there, like that. You can also use it under your eye for a nice highlight to make your eye pop a little more. And I used it today right around to make my lip shape pop out a little bit more, because I knew that I would be hit by this outside light and then I'd kind of get washed out. So I put a little extra makeup on and save for what's going on out there, daylight. But I don't know if you can see it right around the edge. And then it's right it works right here as well. And it's called Highbrow Benefit. It's a really good pencil. I would say this is something that might be worth spending spending a little money on.
All right, I finished mine.
Let's see. Those are some lips, baby.
And then if I'm on a really big stage with this, I will also take just a tiny bit of a glitter. This is my favorite cosmetic glitter. It's called MAC Reflect Pearl. And I'll put it right there.
Yeah. Perfect. Gloss
then it looks like I
without
have
gloss.
lip gloss on without like attracting my hair.
Or your veil.
Huh? Yeah, it doesn't get anything. Or feathers from fans.
Yeah.
That's my favorite glitter ever. It's really beautiful. MAC Reflects Pearl. It goes
I think that's
to
this one.
yeah, it looks good over any color of eyeshadow. And it just enhances it. It doesn't like
It's eyelids too.
All right. Well, we've been at this for 80 minutes. Can you believe it?
I know, I just looked
All
up and
right.
it said 420 and I don't even smoke 420.
I think we can talk about makeup as long as the day goes on. We
Cool.
can probably go on and on.
All right. Well, I'd like to move on to our critique section shortly. But before we do that, are there any tips that you want to call out before we do that?
Any tips?
Anything else you want to make sure that we talk about before we start looking at people's photos?
One more thing about false eyelashes. Remember that they're made very long so they can fit a variety of eye shapes. Some people have larger eyes and that are a lot more round in the orbit of the eye. You know, they're a lot more round. Some people have flatter shapes. Always take the lash off and hold it up and see if it sticks out over the end of your own eye, because if it does, it's never going to sit on your eye right.
Mm-hmm.
So you want to trim the lash, but you're not going to trim it. You're not going to trim it for on the lashy part. You're going to trim it at the very outside, and you also don't want to trim it on the inside because it's made to taper and look more natural. So if you trim it from the outside, you'll be fine.
Mm-hmm.
Do you want me to demo one of those?
That would be great.
You can if you want, sure.
Okay. So I'm gonna show you this eyelash. So this is the problem that a lot of people run into with well, I put eyelashes on, but if they poke me and it hurts and I cry and it's just not worth it. And it's because they don't trim them like Ples was.
Exactly.
This eyelash. I'm gonna try to leave it in my hand right there. Okay, and like she was saying, trim it from the outside edge. And this is one that tapers from shorter to longer. So I'm gonna go to the longer end. Usually for my eye, I have to take, can you guys see this? You guys seeing it?
Sort of.
I have to cut about that much off. Hang on, let me show you. I'll put it against the white. So, let me find it. There we go. So I usually take my scissor and I'm gonna cut it out. See where it's separated? Right about there. So then I've got less lash to try and fit across my eye. And then it's not going to go all the way into the corner and poke my tear duct all night long so that I can't dance and then I'm running off stage crying every 5 minutes. Little scissor, and this is, Ples was telling you to get a little scissor. Super important to keep in your kit. And you just nip it.
That one with the blade that's under 4 inches long, so you won't get it taken away at the airport.
Yeah. And I'm just going to take it. It's hard for me to like see if I'm, yeah, I got it. Okay. And I'm just going to drop that. What you're going to do with that, after you get your lash on, or after I get mine on, I take that lash and I take the back end and I double stack it. So I take this flourishy part and I'm going to stack it right onto the edge.
I do that
more
stacking
lash
too.
on the
It's
edge
awesome.
of my lash. Does it, if they do it correctly, I can.
I'm hearing a freeze from DeVilla. Princess, can you hear her?
No, I can't hear her.
Oh, okay. DeVilla, we might have lost you for a second there. Although, can I say I have never heard of that, and that is awesome.
Oh, we both do that. Stack the extras on the ends. And you can actually buy now. There's a lot of places that make double stacked lashes. They're pre-made. But once you do the stacking with that end piece, you can either stack 2 sets of lashes or just stack the piece that you cut off on it. And once you put the glue on it, they'll stick together and they'll come off together, so you can reuse them. That's the other thing. Your false eyelashes can last a very long time. You can reuse them nonstop. The other thing you want to make sure that you do is roll the lash around in your hands, like from end to end, to break up the band a little bit. Okay, it looks like she just joined the video call again, DeVilla.
Here I am.
Is she back?
All right. We can hear you, but we can't see you yet.
Okay, hang on. I'll get there. You guys have been a little in and out throughout the call. There I am.
That's what we've been hearing from you. There we go. All right. So why don't we go ahead and start looking at some examples? So we have 6 folks who have submitted photos. Depending on whether we have time for everybody will depend on what you guys can do. So I'm going to go ahead.
When do we hear, like, how much longer?
Up to you guys. So I could go another 35 minutes pretty easily if we need to.
Okay.
I don't know what limitations you guys have.
Well, I think we've we can just look at some and make some suggestions, because I think we've talked about most of the mechanical stuff.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's get started. So I'm going to go ahead and start sharing my screen. All right. So can everybody see these photos? So this is Angela from Minneapolis, and she also submitted her real.
That lady before. I have. And
What's that?
She was my face model in a class last year.
She's got great bone structure. It's a beautiful face to work on.
Yep. So this is Angela in Minneapolis, and she said that this is a face that she does for a restaurant gig that has a stage space and fairly dramatic lighting.
I think that's really good. I think she could use a tiny bit more blush. You know, just like right on the apples of her cheeks, but she looks beautiful. Her eyes are
really
popping.
Nice fashion look.
All right. So other than blush, are there any specific suggestions, or is there anything that she did well that other people can learn from?
She did a really nice treatment on her eyes. It looks like she used like a pearly white pencil to line around the inside, to line like the water line, which is you know, like the inside corner of the eye, and then going out on like she tight lined it with white, which is good, and it makes it look a little bit bigger. She's got a really beautiful eyelash size going on. They're really dramatic and kind of spiky, but you're going to be up close to people so that they'll be able to see that. Her lipstick's beautiful.
Yeah.
Her brows are really good and highlighted. She's really pretty.
I think it's great work. I would say for a large stage, she definitely needs more contour, but and cheek color would. I think I would do more cheek color, but I think the work is gorgeous.
But it's for a restaurant that has a small stage.
Yeah.
So she looks fantastic. Hi, Angela.
Yeah, it is.
Awesome. So she said she couldn't be live on the call, so we'll give her some props separately. All right. So next up, we have Anne Renee from Richmond, who also couldn't be live on the call because she's at a town hall meeting for some political advocacy. So yay.
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 And this is her submission.
She could definitely use more lashes.
Eyebrows.
And eyebrows, yeah, both of it. And then she should blend that that little wedge corner thing, but it should go up a little bit so that it doesn't look like her eyes are pointing down. She could. I keep thinking that I'm acting like a cat when they see those cat videos and they think that they can actually attack the bird. the corners of her eyes should be up about half an inch. She could bring that up instead of winging it out to the side. And if she had eyelashes on, it wouldn't look so much like a stark, like triangular shape either, you know? She also needs more, her eyes in general just need a lot more darkening. Even if she left them just like this, they would need lashes. She could go to an auburn or light brown pencil instead of trying to stick in the blonde family for her brows. And then she definitely needs darker on the bottom and in the crease. What do you, I know you're going to say the same thing, Double.
Yeah, I would definitely say the same thing. She's got the right idea with the shape that she's trying to go for, but she needs to lift it up and blend it up into that brow bone a little bit. And if she finishes off her eyebrow, you know, see how the tail is just kind of drifting off into, if she firms up that eyebrow and brings that tail down, it'll all start to work together a little better. And then I would definitely say more cheek and a not so natural lip color, or maybe something just a little with a little more oomph. If like bright red is uncomfortable, because I know it is for some people, I would say just something with a little more oomph, because that looks really, really natural. And on
like
stage,
a really nice berry on her lip.
I was thinking a really nice berry would be really pretty, and it wouldn't be like going red.
Yeah.
And hi, Richmond. That's where I went to college.
All right. So next up, we have Jessica from LA. Let me see if I can zoom in a little further.
Oh, I know this face.
Yeah, me too. Hi.
Hi, Jessica.
She could use a little bit darker on the bottoms to make it, of her eyes, to make it just look more dramatic and belly dancey. And those are her natural brows. If she was on a larger stage, she'd want to darken them in. And if she wanted to cheat her top lip a little bit, like I just did, she could totally do it and no one would notice. Also for a larger stage, or even this picture, she could have had a little more pretty pinky berry coral on her cheeks.
And cheeks.
Yeah. But she's a beautiful, beautiful girl. Yeah. The eyelashes look natural. You know, that natural palette that she's using works with her hair, but she's wearing a red costume there. I would match.
I would wear red,
you know, all matchy-matchy with the lipstick and the costume.
Absolutely. I would say.
And for photos, I would do my nails too.
What's that?
For photos, I would do my nails too.
Oh, yes.
My teacher didn't let us in the recital without polish on our hands and toes.
Nope. Nope. My girls don't go out without it. No way.
Even Omar Gaddafi's bodyguards had to wear it.
What's that?
I said even Omar Gaddafi's bodyguards had to wear it. I'm not even kidding. He had female bodyguards and he made them wear it.
Yeah.
All right.
And some cheek color. I think Jessica needs, I know you might have said this, but we definitely need some more cheek color going on.
Yeah, yeah.
All right. So next up we have Joanna from Langley in British Columbia.
Hi, Joanna.
That's a very beautiful, soft look. She looks really beautiful, but she could definitely use more brows.
Definitely brows. That's exactly where my eye went.
That's like almost all she needs, though, because it looks like she's got, I don't know if this is a holiday picture or a character picture, but it almost looks like it might be trying to be Victorian or something with those berries in her hair and the, I don't mind the not having like giant amounts of stuff. I love how the lipstick picks up the berries and everything like just seems all soft and fairy-like or fairy tale-y, but she does need more brows. Even if she doesn't want them to look harsh, they should just be like light brown. Yeah. Because
I would say
eyes will pop up.
And there could be a little more cheek color, I think, too. A little bit. Yeah. Just to warm her up and really, really kick that fairy kind of yummy warm look home.
Yeah. She's got beautiful bone structure.
Gorgeous.
Mm-hmm. All right. So next up, we've got Karen Scalf-Bouchard from Colorado Springs.
I know her.
Hi, Karen.
I don't know her, but I know her. I like what she did with her eyes, but she could bump it up even another few notches. Like she's definitely got the right idea. You can see what's happening. She's got false eyelashes on. She's got like a nice little V shape going on in the corner and coming down. She could also use more brows. You can see her highlighted there though in the picture.
I want some cheek color.
Huh?
I want some cheek color and more defined lips.
I was just going to say I want cheek color and more defined lips, but the picture that, for a picture, this color looks really beautiful with her skin tone, the lip color. It's really working with her skin tone.
Yeah.
So just everything you're doing, Karen, but just like a little bit large and in charge.
All
large
right.
and in charge.
Okay. Next up, we've got Soraya Jamal, who's one of my students from Boston. And this is a shot, I believe she took it before a restaurant gig.
I can tell because that looks like a cover-up to me. It doesn't look like a girl's normal shirt. I knew it was a cover-up.
Backstage shot.
Yeah. She's got a very beautiful face. I like that that purple shadow on her. I like it. It goes well. I would extend it out a little more. And she's got purple and gold. I really like that. I can't tell what's going on with her eyebrows because of the bangs. But yeah, I would she's got such big, beautiful eyes. Out a little more extreme because her eyes are so big. And, you know, she's so young and pretty. She could really pull off one of those giant, almost Valley of the Dolls-y kind of Egyptian eyes. I would just go for it if I was her.
Yeah, I would say, I mean, I like this eye style. And especially for a hooded eye, that works really, really well. But she's got such a beautiful eye shape and real estate there in her eyelid that I would kind of go more for that V and lift it up and go for that total Valley of the Doll, you know, kind of Egyptian. Totally. Yeah, she can totally pull this off. But you gotta have a defined eyebrow, and I would definitely want some cheek color and a more defined lip.
Yes, but that lip color is good for a restaurant, and
yeah,
you know,
it's pretty. Yeah.
that bright pinky coral with the purple eyes is it's the belly dance version of how people say either accent your eyes or accent your your mouth.
Not in belly dance.
No, wow, she's really got some huge eyes though.
She's gorgeous.
If I had eyes like yours, Soraya, I would have frosty white on the lids and then have that big Sharon Tate like crease there and then pull it out all crazy Egyptian at the end.
Yeah.
But that's because I don't have it. Anyway, all of the girls that sent us pictures were really beautiful.
They were all really great. They did a great job.
All right. Well, thanks everybody who submitted. Hopefully that was helpful. So I think we're going to move on to questions and answers. So we've got a couple of questions that came through the chat and a couple that people sent to me in advance. So if you're listening and if you've got a question that you haven't asked yet, go ahead and type it in the chat box down at the bottom of the live stream window. And in the meantime, I will start with, so Dawn Devine, who's listening live, she asked,
Hi.
she asked about what your favorite lipstick brand and colors are.
I'm a MAC whore. So that's my favorite lipstick. And my go-to stage color is Ruby Woo, which is a really beautiful, flat, true blue red. That's for like a big stage. For smaller places or for like a restaurant, I also use a MAC color. I use one called Meltdown, which is kind of a very golden sort of tangerine orangey color, but with that, it's not too orange. It's a frosty lipstick as opposed to a matte one, but I use a deep red to line it, and then I do kind of the ombre lip thing like DeVilla was talking about. That color looks really good with me, or as it would with you, Dawn, because we're both brunettes, even though I'm dark. I'm a blackette and you're a brunette. It's a really pretty color for everyone. You can wear it for day without lining. But if you're doing really strong belly dance eyes and you're in a smaller venue, you might want to look at it as a good color that's quote, quote, big air quotes, natural.
Natural.
What's your favorite go-to lipstick, Double?
My favorite go-to lipstick, I know you like MAC, and I like MAC too, but my favorite go-to lipstick is this one. It's L'Oreal, and it's long wearing. That's why I like it. Makeup holds up on me for hours and hours and hours, but lipstick doesn't for some reason. So I like this one because it tends to stay on. Like you can see, I did this way before our conference call, and I've got this new fun. It's that kind of corally color right now. I don't know what they're calling it, but I got it to have something brighter for spring, and I've really been enjoying it.
I have a great color,
kind of brighter color.
That's very similar to that. It's a really good spring color. Also, it's by Lovecraft Cosmetics. It's a new cosmetic company from New Orleans, and it's
which one?
It's called Lovecraft.
Okay,
Lovecraft. I'll bring one.
Yeah. Oh. This is my new MAC orange too, which I'm really kind of in love with, but it doesn't stay on long enough for me to wear it on stage.
Yeah,
it's a really fun, color. This is, yeah, this one was given.
Here's a Lovecraft Cosmetics, and it's got the little. It's a really nice pink, and it's a lip paint. It's got, you can put it on very lightly and blot it, and it's like a stain. If you put it on a little bit heavier, it's like a gloss, but it's not sticky. So it's got a lot of the girl that created this, her name is Francelle Daly, and she's done like, I mean, probably half the people for the Met Ball she did the makeup on, and she's like, she does makeup on high fashion shoots all the time, and she just started having this line. And the lip pens, that's what they're called. They're amazing. They're like, it's like all the goodness of gloss, but it stays on, but it doesn't dry it. You know how some of those like permanent colors dry your lips?
Yeah, that's what I like.
Yeah, you're like, you feel like you're spitting your lip color off like confetti.
All right.
It doesn't gum up.
Yeah.
Okay, so Jasmine Bledsoe is also asking, when it comes to body makeup, what do you use and where and how do you apply it?
Oh, I have so much to tell you. Hold on. Well, hi, Jasmine. And it's good to hear from you today. These are my favorite drugstore products. Hold on, the sun's coming in now, so it's hard to see things. I'm going to turn my computer. Maybe I can get out of the glare. But this is my favorite one from the drugstore, and it's called Airbrush Legs by Sally Hansen. It comes in a cream and a spray. I know Princess Farhana knows about this one too.
I love it. I use it all the time.
All the time. But I have something great to tell you after this. But when you use that, either one, be sure you buff it or else it streaks. You know how you're like, why does it look so streaky and funky? I like to take my hands after it dries, and I just kind of rub it and buff it out and smooth everything out, and it will stay on for days. I've worn it on vacations. I've worn it on vacations at the beach because I have spider veins, and I'm really, really self-conscious about my spider veins. So on vacation, I've put it on, even taken a shower and just bathed my body, but not my legs, and it stayed on for a couple of days. So it's really, really good. It's a good product. It doesn't come off on your costumes, and it will hold up through your sweat. So that's really important. There's something else I've got to tell you about, though. There is a relatively new product called Gleam by Melanie Mills from Hollywood. And I do work with Melanie Mills. She's really, really, really awesome, a very, very super talented makeup artist. And she created these products for Dancing with the Stars. So there's a body cream, and it comes in several different colors. This one is light gold, I believe. There's a rose. No, this one's rose gold. Rose gold. We just did those dancers I talked about earlier. We just did their complete body makeups with this. And so what we did is we applied, sorry, the sun is coming in now. I hope you guys can see this okay. But we applied this body makeup. It's got a shimmer in it. A little bit of a bronzy tan. So you're going to get to see what this looks like. So you can kind of see this beautiful sheen on my body with that. I'll put this on. If I want any glitter on, I can toss glitter right into this, and it sticks really nicely. And then I take the powder. This one's the light gold. I'm going to take the rose gold powder on a big brush, and it smells really great, and it's really great for your skin too. Nice. I'm going to take the rose gold powder right there, and I'm going to put it in this big brush right here. You can see, I hope you guys get to see how much shimmer and color is coming up in this makeup right now, because it's so beautiful on the body.
Yeah,
can you guys tell?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. It's one of my favorite new body makeup products. It's so gorgeous. I am cautious with it on, oh yeah, you can kind of see it. I'm cautious with it on costumes, but she also has a fixative spray that you can buy to spray over it, or you can use your good old fixative spray right over it, or you can use your good old can of hairspray to spray right over it, and it will stay on and it won't lose its luster. So that's another really beautiful product I've just discovered, and I'm kind of loving right now. It's really pretty.
Nice. All right. So we've also got a question from Amethyst Dawn, who asks, how do you feel about individual lashes versus band lashes?
I don't have time for them backstage, so I don't use them. I feel like they're more everyday but special occasion thing, but that's just my opinion.
That's my opinion too. I don't think they give enough kick for stage work. You can do a shorter band if like lashes really bother you and you don't like using a whole strip. We showed you to they're just an outside wing. But even so, I don't think individual lashes are enough. They're too natural.
Yeah, they're too natural looking, and then also just for the insanity of a crowded dressing room, unless you do your makeup, unless you were doing your makeup at home, I wouldn't even want to bother with something that
it's not going to show.
You know what I mean? I just want to go boop, boop, and then warm up,
All right.
But I usually like to do, as that goes too, I usually like to in the hotel room or at home rather than do it at the venue if possible.
All right, so Treasure Marshall asks, any tips to stop shine on videotape? I used mattifier and heavy powder, but I'm still shiny, even though it looks heavy in the mirror.
I think what she needs to do is have a friend with her and take little breaks, because I know Treasure. Hi, Treasure. I know she makes DVDs. So you need to have a shine monitor or like an eyelash or lipstick migration monitor. Even if it's someone that's not a makeup artist, have like one of your students or someone come in with powder puffs and like do a short take and then have them blot you down and stuff. But really, it's hard to do all that DIY. You can't monitor your own self if you're, talking on camera. So you got to have an outside person, It might help if you cut, you can always pick up.
What's that? It might help to try.
I said if you have to.
Yeah, I'm sorry for breaking up.
Go
it
ahead.
Might help to try the high def powder. Sorry, you guys are breaking up. I couldn't tell where you ended. The high definition powder, and MAC has one, and everybody has one. Makeup Forever has one that I really like. It's got some silicone in it, and so it tends to cake up less, and it might be helpful. But again, you need somebody there to help watch with you and take breaks and just powder yourself.
We had a funny thing like that when we were recording Bombshell. It was so damn hot because there was like 15 women in the house, and it was like in the middle of June, and the air conditioner made way too much noise, so I was in the middle of doing one of the makeup demos, and I was working on this girl's eyes, and then I got ready. I got the lipstick already. I was ready to go on her lips, and she had a whole full mustache of sweat on, and she had just been sitting there. She wasn't even dancing.
Was this at our house? Was that at our shoot?
Yes, it was on Lapis's face. I got to that. I was ready to, because I'd been only concentrating on her eyes, and then I got to her mouth, and I was like, cut! Like you could have seen it from down the street. Like I'm surprised her shirt wasn't wet.
There in the afternoon.
All right. So Phoenix, excuse me, not Phoenix, Candace from New Zealand says, I've recently discovered ColourPop, which I think is a brand. Do you have any thoughts on these products as far as quality, pigmentation, long wear, considering the prices are so cheap?
I don't know if I know that brand.
I haven't tried it yet. I've heard of it, but I haven't tried it yet.
Yeah, that's what I mean. I mean, I've heard of it, but I don't know what the colors are like, or how what the pigmenting is like, or how well it lasts. But I mean, here's another thing. If it's so cheap, try a few. Like the worst thing that can happen is it's not going to be that good, and you can like give it to your niece or your friend's kid or something. If it's really cheap, like. Some of the makeups that are good, like just say, for example, Wet n Wild. I mean, I'm sure they wouldn't like me calling it disposable makeup, but it's great makeup and it's really good for the price, So if this is a comparable, very inexpensive brand, if it's highly pigmented and it doesn't make your skin break out and it's comfortable and it's got like a wide range of colors, get a few, just play.
Yeah.
It's different. Like if it was a $30 lipstick, I wouldn't say, oh yeah, try it, unvetted, but if it's whatever it is in New Zealand dollars, if it's like, bang, go for it.
All right, so Sarah, who is Soraya, whose photo we saw earlier, asks, is powdered foundation okay to use? For example, Bare Minerals, as long as it's matte.
I like to use like regular foundation with powder a little bit over it. I just like that. I prefer that, but I'm older than she is. The reason I don't like using just only powder is like once you get a little bit older, even if you have any kind of primer, it's still going to get cakey in the wrinkles. I like something moister on my face, and then if I'm going on a big stage, then I'll use both together. But she's so young and pretty. I think she can just use whatever floats her boat. What do you think, DeVilla?
The same thing. If you've got great skin and you're young and you don't have any other issues to deal with, like settling into crinkles or whatever, Bare Minerals is fine. I've seen it look really good. It doesn't have quite enough coverage. But if your skin is perfect, you don't need all that coverage. So go for it, and just keep experimenting with things as your skin changes. You'll settle into what works for you. But if it's working, use it.
All right. And then Katie, who is another of my students from Somerville, Mass, asks, what tips do you have for doing a good glitter eye look? I love the look of silver glitter around the tear duct as liner on upper lid, and have even seen it look great on full lids. What products and tools would you use to achieve that look, and what are your tips to make it look glamorous and not freakish?
Well, like I said before, my favorite silver-ish glitter is MAC Reflect Pearl, and it's not only silver. It's a really pearly, beautiful, it's the best glitter I've ever used. Okay, I'm not kidding. I'm not even kidding. I have it in my makeup, in my earthquake kit. Because I'm not going to, I'm not going to be in the apocalypse looking like shit. I'm sorry.
You have a makeup kit in your earthquake kit?
Yes.
Put me to shame.
Well, when I first started dancing, when I was still more of a bad girl, I also had magic mushrooms in there. And I had a whole bunch of tip money in case all the ATMs went down. Back to your question.
Oh my God. So, want to talk about glitter glue?
Yeah.
Okay.
And glitter in the tear duct.
So there are two different things two different ways that you can go about doing a glitter eyelid and not letting the glitter drip into your eye or all over the place. There's Ben Nye glitter glue. And that works really well. I usually take a little Q-tip or a brush and I dab it on my eye. Then I dab the brush into the glitter and I put the glitter right on the eyelid. Or if I want a really, really heavy application of glitter and I really want it, application of glitter, I take my good old eyelash glue. This one is Duo adhesive. You can use the one that Plez suggested earlier if you have any sort of sensitivity to latex, because this one does have latex in it. I take it, I dollop it on my hand, I take the Q-tip and I put the glue right where I want the glitter, wherever that is, wherever that might be. I let that dry for a second, shake the cocktail, and then I take glitter on a brush. Then I'll take the glitter on a little flat brush like this, and I'll scoop it and press the glitter right into the glue and let that set up and dry. And then once it's dried, my eyeball's gonna glitter all night long. I just did Jewel of Denial in that really big, beautiful makeup that I posted, that kind of space makeup, and we did her eyes completely blue, and we watercolored down these streaks, and then we did all this glitter all over it. She wore it for 10 hours and it didn't move. It looked fantastic. So I'll post a picture of that again for you guys if you want. But this is how I did it with the duo. And the glue didn't move all night long. I don't know how she got it off, actually. I forgot to tell her how to get it off.
She still has it on.
Will you tell us?
Yeah, so the best way to do it is take an oily eye make remover. I like Bifacil by Lancome. I don't know if you're familiar with that. They have it at the drugstore too. Neutrogena has one that's really, really great. My preference is to take a hot towel first, if you're not worried about the hot towel getting all grimy with glitter, and letting the heat seep into the glue, because that will help start to lift the glue. And then take the remover on a cotton pad and just start to roll. Basically, if it's glued in with this kind of duo, that whole piece is going to lift up and come right off your eyelid if you just give it time. That's the best way to do it. Or you can just get in the shower and steam it off and then go in with the pads.
All right. So Candace New Zealand has another couple questions. She asks, is it okay to mix brands or type of products for concealer and foundation, or is it better to use the same brand or type of product?
Mix it up, girl.
Yeah, mix it.
Yeah.
Don't worry about mixing anything. You know, if you have any doubts about mixing it, just do a little test run. You know, just like the same way that you would with the whole stage look. Like if you think, is this liquid foundation going to work with this mousse foundation? Just like do it one night when you're taking your other makeup off and just see how, you know, how it covers. Like,
yeah. I mean, you want to find out if something's water based as opposed to a silicone base, as opposed to like what the base is of that makeup. That might change how it works together. You know, the actual vehicle of the pigment in the foundation or the contour, that whatever it is you're using. But other than that, just try it. Just play with it.
All right. And she also says, I use MAC liquid foundation, but can't quite get an airbrush finish. Would you recommend trying new brushes first or new foundation first?
You know what? I don't like MAC foundation. I don't like their foundation at all.
It's dry. It's flat.
I got a lot of zits from it.
Yeah, it's problematic. I don't use it.
But there are other products. Some of their their eyeliner, amazing. Their lipstick, amazing. Reflects Pearl in my earthquake kit, but I don't like their foundation. What is that? Black Track?
Yeah, Black Track eyeliner, great. But their foundation, I don't love.
I know. I'm so glad that we agree on that.
Me too. Yeah, I wasn't going to say it.
Oh, I just had to, because I would seriously like mainline Reflects Pearl, but
yeah.
So she might want to play around with some other foundations. I mean, the other good MAC product that I adore more than anything is strobe cream. So if she could try mixing in a little bit of strobe cream to her MAC foundation. Strobe cream will make anything look better, because it makes it's all pearly and reflective, but it doesn't look clown-like. It just makes your skin look dewy and gorgeous. So try doing that for some dimension, and then if it doesn't seem like it works there, try another kind of foundation and still use the strobe cream.
Yeah.
All right. And then Candace says, thank you. Also, and Soraya, who was the last dancer with the purple eye, asked, how do you go about achieving that Egyptian look you recommended?
Well, she's got such beautiful giant eyes. She could seriously go like full Liz Taylor and Cleopatra if she wanted to, but it's all about the extension out to the side.
Yeah, yeah. And you can use tape for that if she's afraid to try it. Use the tape as a template, you know, the Scotch tape trick. if she's afraid to try that look.
Yeah, I have some right here.
Yeah.
I'm gonna see if I can put it. I mean, I don't have I don't have eyeliner right here, but let me just get this tape off of here, and then I'll just show you how you would do it. So you take a piece of tape. Can you guys see my face? Am I in the right area? Tell me.
Yes.
Okay. So you take a piece of tape and you would either put it here. I'm trying to do it so you can see the reflection to go straight up, or you can just put it here, coming straight out. And what you would do would be paint the liner right over that tape. See how it's on there? Then you wait a minute for it to dry, and then you just peel the tape off, and you got a perfect straight line. So when I do an Egyptian eye, I don't use the top lid and wing it up like a cat eye. I bring it straight out. Actually, the lines that I have going on here are almost Egyptian-y. I mean, they're like because this was my restaurant makeup, you know, but if I was doing Egyptian-y, I would do it like a little bit thicker, and then you could put like a little line of gold on top of it, or white, or leave it as is. Also, with Egyptian eyes, like she rocked that purple shadow, but you can't go wrong for an Egyptian look with like all sort of metallic gold up here under the brow, and then like a turquoise lid and black liner, thick, you know, coming straight out. That just screams like The Mummy in the good way.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, absolutely.
And if I remember correctly, you guys have a step-by-step on your DVD, right?
Yes.
Yes.
All right.
Yeah,
well, maybe that's a really good opportunity for you guys to tell us all about that DVD. Oh, and you know, Dawn Devine brought that right up in the comments too.
We've got there's eight different looks on the DVD. There's a whole section on false eyelashes. There's a whole section on contouring. There's a section on glitter. There's and then we all did. Both of us did 4 looks each on different models. DeVilla did a pinup look. She did the Cleopatra Egyptian look. She did makeup for like beautiful makeup for mature faces. What was the other one you did?
Golden Goddess?
That was the Cleopatra look.
I don't remember.
You did one other one after that too.
I might have. I don't remember what else is on there.
Oh, you did Lisa Marie. You did smoky eyes.
Oh, that's right. Smoky eye. Smoky eye.
And then, so that was like just a beautiful smoky eye. And then I did a 1920s look, like an Edwardian 20s look. I did a total mermaid fantasy look. What else? I don't even see. Oh, I did Arabic eyes on myself, and it looked different than everything else because I had to be like in the, you know, doing it on myself. And also the hoodie eye makeup for myself because I tried to find a hooded eye model and I couldn't find it. And then I did one other look, which is slipping my mind now because I'm Grandma Farhana. But so there's like, you know, then we tag teamed up with makeup. We pretty much covered everything that was possible to cover, and the looks went step by step, piece by piece, so you could see exactly how we did it, and we showed colors and products and all of that kind of stuff, you know.
It's pretty classic. They're pretty classic looks.
Yeah, we picked the most classic, like probably the most outre looks was the fact that we did a full-on Egyptian one and a full-on 1920s one, but like that wouldn't be on a normal makeup DVD, but this was a DVD for belly dancers. And those 2 trends are still going strong in the belly dance world.
Yeah. Yep.
All right. And where can people get that?
You can get it at princessfarhana.com or DeVilla. You can get it at your website too, right?
I'm currently out of them. I have to go get some more.
Okay.
So
I think it's also on Amazon. And when I say I think it's also on Amazon, I know that some of them a while ago went to Hollywood Music Center and they put it on Amazon, but you can definitely get it at princessfarhana.com.
Mm-hmm. And DeVilla, I know that you said you're out right now, but there's a good chance people are going to be listening to this months and years later. So what's your website in case they want to check that out?
DeVillaRocks.com.
And is that rocks with a Q or with a K?
I am with a K, R-A-K-S.
She's like the Kardashian version of rocks.
All right. And if people want to learn from you, what other options do they have?
I teach Skype lessons all the time on makeup and also on like branding, business stuff, and any kind of technique you want. So, you know, that's, you can actually, there's a link to like just purchase a Skype lesson with me right in the shop on my website. So then just tell me what you want to work on.
And DeVilla, how about you?
Same thing. Easy peasy. Just contact me and we'll work it out. I can do it by Skype, or if you're in the LA area, I give workshops frequently. I just gave one last month in April, so there'll be another one coming around sometime soon, I'm sure.
And you also both teach on the road, so if people wanted you to come to them, is that something that you're up for?
Absolutely.
Of course, yes. You can contact me through my website or through Facebook for that. And I'm not traveling that much this year, but I will be at Cairo Shimmy Quake June 2nd through 4th, which is actually in LA. And then from August 24th through 27th, I'll be in Fort Collins, Colorado, and Denver, Colorado, performing and teaching in both cities.
All right. Well, I think we are going to call it a night. Thank you so much, ladies.
Yay. Thank you, guys.
So good to see you.
Yeah, and thank you to everybody who submitted. This is the end of our call, but that doesn't mean that the conversation has to end. We've got a private Facebook group for Clubhouse folks, so if you're on our mailing list, you should have gotten an invitation to that. And if you're not, you can ask to join at bellydancegeek.com/clubhouse. That is a private group, so we do have to approve you before you can post. That helps make sure that it's just dancers and not crazy creepers in there as well. And also, if you're on our list, I'll send you a link to this call recording. So if you want to refer back to anything that we've got, you can go back and watch it again. We'll include links to the bombshell video, and if I got my notes right, links, or excuse me, the names of the products that were mentioned, so that you can go back and find those. And our next call is coming up on Tuesday, June 20th. My guest is Mao Murakami from Sparkly Belly, and she is going to be talking about dress style costuming, which is really exciting. If you want to know where I'm going to be, I am going to be part of the Belly Dance Business Academy Teaching Summit, which is running May 22nd through May 26th. That is a free summit with, I think, about a dozen teachers talking about different aspects of teaching, whether it's business, how to educate people, or in my case, I'm on the topics that are hard to teach day, covering how to teach improvisation skills to your students. So if you're interested, the link to that is kind of long, so I used a shortener, and that is bit.ly, bit.ly/BDBATS for Belly Dance Business Academy Teaching Summit. So we'll include a link there as well. And the last thing is that this is the come on in kind of clubhouse, not the no boys allowed kind. So if you know somebody who would enjoy these calls, you can invite them to join us at bellydancegeek.com/clubhouse. And until next time, happy dancing.
Yay, bye.
Bye, everybody.
Guys, thank you.
Thank you, Nadia.
Awesome. Thanks for listening. For more geek-tacular resources, visit bellydancegeek.com.